October 15th, it is International Pregnancy and Infant Loss Awareness Day. And on that night, most people, I think they say at 7 p.m, to light a candle in remembrance of all the babies that have been lost. Unfortunately, we weren't able to take part in that because we were not actually home on that day, but the thought's still there anyway. The reason I'm just on here to do a quick video about it is just to talk to you quickly about my losses and about the losses in my family. So let's go in order. So the first infant loss in my family is my brother. He died of cot death, or SIDS as it's called now, when he was 4 months old, which is why the 4th month for me is a really scary month with my babies, and it's a month when I take extra care of blankets not being around their face, or how they're sleeping, or not being around smokers and all that sort of thing. It's just the 4th month makes me nervous, and it's purely because that age is when my brother died for no reason whatsoever. You know, there's no explanation for SIDS, and it's just really awful, and it affected my parents really badly, and to this day, you know, they'll never forget it. And to be honest, I will never ever get out of my memory my dad on my brother's birthday going to his grave and just laying down on his grave and kissing it. Like, it's just really weird to see someone who's covered in tattoos, big burly kind of guy, have a really vulnerable moment to just lay down on his son's grave, and I just can't even imagine what's going through his head. You know, what would this little boy have been like? And I've got the full story on my brother's death in another vlog, which I will link below, and I did that video a couple of years ago now, but I mean, information hasn't changed. My brother would have been 19 now, I think. Yeah, so it's just crazy. I was only 7 when it happened, so I didn't have a huge understanding of the situation, but as I get older, I feel more and more for my parents, because I truly could not understand that kind of grief that they would go through. And it's a real taboo thing too, pregnancy and infant loss, because especially pregnancy loss, because people kind of feel like they can't talk about it, and that's the whole reason for Pregnancy and Infant Loss Day and month, is to get awareness out there that people do lose babies, they do lose infants, and you know, it's not something that we need to hide, it's not something we need to be ashamed of, it's something that needs to be brought out in the open so people can support us, and we need to be supported. So moving on to the next thing, I had a chemical pregnancy in 2010. I spent 3 blissful days thinking of this pregnancy and this life, and thinking about, what does this baby look like? What is it going to look like? Is it going to be a boy or a girl? We're going to have this wonderful time. And then I had an extremely heavy period and a negative blood pregnancy test. So I had 3 days of positive urine pregnancy tests, and then I got an extra heavy period, and so we had a chemical pregnancy. You know, that kind of, it did hurt, but I was okay. I just felt like, you know, this really sucks. It was our one chance, but we were in line for IVF, and so I thought, it's okay, we're going to get this and we're going to do this again. We come to 2013, and I got pregnant again through a frozen embryo transfer, and our embryo was called Pancake. And there was something about that embryo photo. We had it for 2 years, I think. Yeah, and that was my baby. That little embryo was my baby, and I couldn't wait to meet her. And I was so excited, and I felt like she was part of the family already, because we'd had her embryo photo with us for so long. I just felt like I knew her already, even though she wasn't born or even implanted in me yet. And then I found out I was actually pregnant, and I was just so excited. I could not wait to give Roman a little sibling. I couldn't wait to see what this baby looked like and to see on ultrasound. And I I was just so excited. I couldn't believe that we were pregnant again. And I was like, I'm finally going to see what this little person who I've had this photo for so long, what they look like. And unfortunately, my betas, my pregnancy blood tests were not increasing. Like the HCG was not doubling as it should, and the pregnancy wasn't looking good. And I just was holding on to hope. I kept doing these pee sticks every day, and the lines were getting darker and darker and darker and darker, and I thought, it's going to be okay, it's going to be okay. And I took a pregnancy test one morning, and it was the darkest of all of the tests. And I went and got my blood test, and the nurse rang up and said, I'm sorry, but your HCG has dropped. It looks like this is going to be end in miscarriage. I was devastated. I don't think I'd cried so hard in my life. I was just, in my mind I just thought, I'm never going to meet this baby. I'm never going to see this baby's face here on earth. And it just really, it really killed me inside, because I felt like that little picture, you know, it's all about that little picture I'd been holding on to for so long. And then seeing the pregnancy test be positive and knowing I was pregnant, and you know, and knowing that then the pregnancy ended, it was just heartbreaking. And the thing that connects me to my babies forever is this Precious Feet pamphlet here. I got this pamphlet it was actually at like a pro-life stand years and years and years ago. But of course I'm not getting into the whole pro-life thing. But it had, you know, all of these things about what happens at what day of when your baby in your pregnancy, and it says on here that at the time that I miscarried, the heart begins to beat. And so that just, to me, it just reminds me that I had this little person for such a short amount of time, but they still were a person to me. And that's why I love to carry around these tiny little feet. Of course my baby's feet wouldn't have been this big. This is actually the size of an actual 10-week baby's feet. So if you can see that. They're absolutely tiny. So the actual size and shape of a baby that is 10 weeks old. So I just think it's really beautiful, and it's called Precious Feet. The exact size and shape of a 10-week unborn baby's feet. So I lost Pancake on the 15th of April 2013, and it's quite crazy that the next loss in our family, my sister, she also lost her baby on the 15th of April 2014, so this year. So both me and my sister share like that day for us, April 15th, we both happened to lose our babies, 1 year apart from each other, of course. I lost my baby at 6 weeks, and she lost her baby Jonty at 17 weeks. Her and I have been talking about doing a vlog together and actually discussing our miscarriages, mine being really early pregnancy loss and hers being a little bit further along at 17 weeks. She had to go through full labour to have her baby, and she had him cremated, and she's got him in a little box, and she's made this beautiful teddy bear. I got this beautiful teddy bear made out of the clothes that she had for him. So that will probably be around April next year, near the day that we both lost our babies. But you know, those losses have really pulled me and her together, and I'm sure her loss has really strengthened a relationship between our parents, who lost a baby at 4 months old. You know, and when you start talking about this stuff, it's crazy to think about how many people have lost babies. When I put it on Facebook about my loss, on my personal Facebook, I got a message from a friend who said, I'm glad you put that there. I lost a pregnancy at 7 weeks, and you know, people don't talk about it, and it's really sad. And some people really suffer inside when they keep it inside and they've got no one to talk to. And that's why I really think that Pregnancy and Infant Awareness Month is a great time to share your losses, talk about your babies, and reminisce on who these people could have been, you know, because every baby is a blessing, every baby is special, no matter how far along in your pregnancy you were, no matter how old your baby was when they were born. they were a person and they were special, and I really encourage people who have had a loss, no matter how far along it was, to talk to someone, because I think it's really important that you acknowledge the baby and that your feelings are acknowledged too, that, you know, that was my baby and I do have feelings about that. It's not something that needs to be brushed away under the rug. It's not something that is a joke. Oh, you know, you were only 6 weeks pregnant, that's nothing, you know, no big deal. It was a big deal. It was a really big deal to me. I lost a baby that I had been dreaming about for 2 years, you know, so it is a big deal. So I just want to come on here and do a little video and just tell you those really quick stories. My sister is okay now. She just recently got a puppy to try and, you know, fill that void that she has, but her story will hopefully be shared around April next year. So April 2015, she will come on here and do a vlog with me, which will be really amazing. And I'm really grateful for her for being willing to come onto camera and talk to you guys about her loss. And I'll be talking a little bit about mine together. So thanks guys for watching this vlog. I just want to put my love out there to everybody who has experienced pregnancy or infant loss. My heart absolutely goes out to you, because it is just an awful experience, and I just find a friend, find someone that you trust, sit down and talk, and grieve. It's okay to grieve. It's natural, you know, that's what we need to do. And I just think we should get out there and we should erase this awareness of pregnancy and infant loss and make it not a taboo subject anymore. And I hope many of you got to do the Wave of Light candles on the 15th of October. So sad I didn't get to do it, but hopefully that will be something I can do next year. So it is a continuous wave of light across the globe to remember the babies that didn't get to spend much time here on earth, or passed away before they even got to take their first breath. So thanks guys for watching, and stay strong.